good morning to one and all present here. Today, I'm indeed honored and privileged to share the space with some of the smartest and best educators of our country. Been quite an unprecedented year. And strict lockdown rules being imposed have surely taken a toll on all our lives. But show must go on. Picasso. The meaning of life is to find your gift. The purpose of life, to give it away. Our professors in BITS Pilani has put in a lot of effort to ensure that learning goes on in the best way possible, even while we are away from our classrooms. Work, planning, and determination. This semester just would not have been functioning as smoothly as it is. Today, we have gathered, albeit virtually, to the Professor SSR Memorial Teaching Excellence Award 2020 Felicitation Ceremony. This is an award instituted by our alumni for teaching excellence for BITS faculty, honoring late Professor S.S. Ranganathan, who was a very popular teacher in the Department of Electrical and Electronics Engineering from January 1978 to May 1987, who again rejoined BITS Pilani because of his love for the institution to serve from December 1994 to January 2000. He's also remembered for his great concern and care for his students. So without further ado, let us begin the ceremony. We have many dignitaries present here: the Vice Chancellor of BITS Pilani, the Directors of BITS Pilani, Dean of Alumni Relations, Associate Deans of Alumni Relations, faculty and students from all our campuses, and family and students of late Professor S.S. Ranganathan. Firstly, I humbly request the Associate Dean of Alumni Relations, Cell Goa campus, Professor V.K. Buds, to address the audience.
Professor Bhattacharya, family members of Professor S.S. Ranganathan, Professor Raghurama, Professor Sesa Sai, Mr. Partha, Professor Arya Kumar, Professor K.R.R. Nukma, faculty members, staff members, invited alumni, ladies and gentlemen, it's my proud privilege to welcome you all to the 4th edition of Professor S.S. Ranganathan Memorial Award. I'd like to quote American author Kawasaki, who said, "If you have to put someone on a pedestal, put teachers. They are society's heroes." Ladies and gentlemen, Professor S.S. Ranganathan, popularly known as SSR, who taught at BITS Pilani, was an epitome of teaching excellence, who demonstrated outstanding contribution and commitment to his students and colleagues. I'd also like to take this opportunity to thank our alumni batch of 1978 and 83 for instituting this award. A big thank you to Mr. Partha Sarthi for his continuous support and cooperation. This award is very important to us for two reasons. The first one is about alumni participation and contribution. Alumni participation and contribution is a key factor in deciding the ranking of a college or university. We at BITS Pilani understand this, and over years, we have established a very strong and symbiotic relationship with our alumni. The second reason is about the thought process behind this Teaching Excellence Award. They understand the importance of teachers and teaching learning processes. So what we are seeing today, like whether it's in business or politics, everything is affected by teachers. So the future development of a society or success of a society or nation is in the hands of teachers. So appreciation and recognition of teacher is very, very important. Once again, I'd like to thank our alumni for their commitment and continuous support. To BITS Pilani, thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for the warm welcome and introduction. Professor Souvik Bhattacharya, Senior Professor and the Vice Chancellor of BITS Pilani, will be addressing the audience now.
Good morning. Partha and the alumni associated and instituted this award, family members of Professor S.S. Ranganathan, my dear colleagues, dear students. Again, extending a warm welcome on behalf of all the 4 campuses of BITS Pilani to this August Assembly and this very, very important event. As Vicky mentioned, it's a celebration. I think this is an event which is basically a celebration of great teaching, a celebration of good teaching. And we, of course, we congratulate, and I think Professor SSR wouldn't have minded that it's going to a Triple faculty. I understand he was from Triple, of course. And it's interesting that this is the second Triple faculty that is going to. So my personal heartiest congratulations to Professor Anupama. And the difficult times, we also mentioned, the 4 campuses in different ways. Every campus has its own challenges, and also there is a uniformity. And this institute has tackled these new challenges very well, I would say, in many ways. One is this academic challenge, the other one is this governing the campus. Now, things are very difficult at each of the campuses for the administration. The campus leadership has risen to the occasion beautifully. I will not go into the details of all that. I think our campuses have done well in containing the situation in terms of the medical challenges and all, and also how to do well to make it. Online teaching is not always the most exciting format, and how to keep it alive and kicking for the students. I received a mail today from one of the teachers who teaches one of the subjects in sort of my area in Spilani. He got a mail from a student who says that the way he has managed this course, he doesn't feel the difference between the in-person class and the online class. But some teachers have a way of doing it, and they're not following certain particular overseas style or concept. They're innovating. They're creating their own ways of making it interesting, and so that the teaching learning process, the absorption of content and the conceptual grip is better. So these are the traits of a great teacher: adapting and adopting as well. That's where good teaching, without compromising on the rigor of the subject and the grade, that's very important. Without trying to be popular by compromising on the rigor, that's not the route good teachers take. So I think BITS Pilani has a long history of so many decades of fabulous teaching. Professor SSR is one example, and there are so many others before him and after him who have made this institute very, very proud, and where it is today. So that's the contribution we acknowledge while we celebrate great teaching today in this award function. I would like to acknowledge the contribution made by the alumni in all spheres of BITS Pilani's operation today. Not just this award ceremony, but in particular Partha and his colleagues and classmates, this fantastic mechanism that they have created so that we recognize great teaching every year. This is something which will go a long way in terms of maintaining quality of teaching, because it's important. The students, when they look back on the role models, the great teachers, not just the classroom teaching, also some of the other attributes which leaves a huge imprint in their lives for the rest of their lives. So these are important traits in any institute, particularly in residential institutes. We get to mingle with the teachers also in some ways or the other. Right now we are missing that, but I'm sure we'll get back to another later. So thank you so much, everyone who arranged this function, and of course, the award, and of course the award winners. Congratulations! Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Now I humbly request Professor G. Raghurama, Director of BITS Pilani KK Birla Goa campus, and also a professor in the Triple department, to address the audience.
Good morning to all. Professor Bhattacharya, Vice Chancellor, family members of Professor SSR, students of SSR, and my colleagues in BITS. I was lucky to have seen SSR closely, because I joined in '87. That was the time when we also had a break from it, but then there was another time when we could spend time little more. But those days I saw him from a distance. I interacted with him. What I remember is a man, gentleman to the core, a great teacher. I think his students respected him for the command he had on the subjects he taught, passion for teaching, and more important, the interaction, SSR's interaction with the students. You won't see that kind of a passionate interaction with the students for their welfare. Possibly he knew almost all the students he touched. And when great teachers like Professor SSR leave the world, what do they leave behind? It is the students. And I admire and congratulate the team, Partha and Seshai and others who created this fund and to award or identify and recognize great teaching in BITS. As you know, BITS gives lot of emphasis to teaching, and we are known for the quality of undergraduate teaching. We need passionate teachers. So I think this institution of this award goes a long way in recognizing and rewarding the great teachers. A few words about Dr. Anupama, the person who is selected for the award this year. Dr. Anupama is a very passionate teacher. She puts all her heart and mind into teaching. She has a great command on the subjects she teaches. Any of you, if you have seen her teaching microprocessor courses or the time that she spends with students on the projects, you would know the kind of a teacher she is. Anupama is a tough teacher. She's firm, strong, but the kind of a feedback, even being a tough teacher, it's an envy for other teachers. She's respected students for the quality of teaching she does. Another important thing about Anupama, she's a well-deserving candidate because today, as you know, teaching, research, and academic administration, that three domains play an important role in the faculties as a faculty of BITS. I often tell my faculty it is not possible to excel in all the three areas. Anupama possibly is one exception. She's a great teacher. In BITS Pilani, she did very well and is doing very well in establishing a research in the area of ad hoc networks when she came from Pilani. And she had a sponsored project in Goa. So she has made a sufficient mark on this research in the department. And academic administration as Associate Dean of Practice School, she does a tremendous job. Now, in all the areas, she exceeds our expectations in terms of her involvement and the quality of delivery. So I'm very happy. Of course, I have seen her very closely from Pilani days. I remember those times when we were building the strategy for BITS in 2010. She was in one of my team. We did a major curriculum review in 2011, and she was one of the youngest in the four people in our team. And she worked, maybe being very youngest, we would have given her more work to do all the PPTs, compare the curriculum across the universities world. And I saw that she's a very hard worker. So I'm very happy that the award goes to Dr. Anupama this year. I wish her all the best. Thank you, Partha. I think, Partha, you see, if you want to see, Partha, pardon me, the passion with which, Ranganathan used to speak and then do, I see part of it in Partha. When he speaks, he is full of energy. So I don't know whether he got part of it from SSR. Partha and other students of SSR is a great work. Thank you very much for this gesture. That's all. Thank you very much. All the best. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Next up, I would like to call upon the keynote speaker of today's event, Mr. N.S. Parthasarathy. He completed his MSc in Mathematics from BITS Pilani in 1983, his MTech in Computer Science from IIT Kharagpur in 1984, and AMP from Harvard in 2010. Mr. N.S. Parthasarathy was the Executive Vice Chairman and COO of Mindtree and currently a Managing Partner at Mela Ventures. A distinguished alumnus award winner of BITS Pilani, he is also actively involved in Whitespan Foundation and Wheeler Foundation. We welcome him for today's keynote address.
Thanks a lot, Soumya, for the warm welcome. Professor Souvik, Professor Raghurama, I don't know if Professor Sundar is there. He was leading the jury. Professor Vicky, Professor Arya Kumar, esteemed faculty members, family members of SSR, my real senior and close friend Shesha Sai, who was very instrumental in creating the award, members of the jury, other alumni of BITS who are participating from across the world, students and friends. And I'm really delighted that we are gathered here today to confer the 4th edition of Professor SSR Memorial Teaching Excellence Award. My respectful congratulations to Professor K.R. Anupama for getting this coveted award. I have heard so much about you from the jury. Look forward to hearing from you in person in the later part of the function today. I think both Professor Souvik and Professor Vicky touched upon teaching as a profession. And I genuinely believe that teaching as an important national asset is rarely acknowledged in political and social forums in most part of the world. To that extent, I was very delighted to see a recent news item. I'm sure some of you would have seen this. So I was very happy when I read the statement from the president of Russia, Vladimir Putin. He made this statement on who will be the first set of people who will get the vaccine when the vaccine is available for COVID. And I'm no fan of Putin, but credit should be given when it's due. Putin is supposed to have stated that frontline medical staff and teachers will be the first to get the vaccine. And his logic was very simple. Medical staff without whom patients will not recover, and teachers without whom we will have no medical staff in the future. I thought that was a very, very nice way of putting it. And I was pleasantly surprised. And I really hope across the world, more political leaders and social leaders start acknowledging that teaching as a profession is an important foundation of building the nations of the future. I think Professor Souvik touched upon how teaching itself is undergoing a change, and I think everybody knows in the current world that we are in. But even without COVID, I think teaching as a profession was undergoing tremendous change. And I'm sure as faculty, you are seeing the change on an everyday basis. And this is because of various reasons. The sheer diversity of students that are in front of you, the background they come from, the different levels of knowledge they come together with, more exposure to various forms of content which is available in internet and freely across the world. Much smarter students. I genuinely believe the students of today are much smarter than what we were at that age. Use of technology, for example, is all throwing a different set of challenges for teaching. And I think in the interdisciplinary real world that we live in, it is impossible for a unidimensional thinking to solve complex problems. And I think everybody acknowledges today. I also believe the concept of a classroom as a pillar of education is under threat. That combined with the fact of low attention span of students and the impossibility of any one faculty to know everything puts enormous pressure on the pedagogy itself. I personally envisage a day when teachers and students collaboratively explore the world of knowledge, and in a manner where we rekindle the childlike curiosity in the students, and in the process, both students and teachers feel enriched. And look forward to the day when education is not seen as a means to a job. Of course, a job is important, but it can't be a means to a job alone, but as a mechanism to enable higher levels of thinking in students. To enable this, teachers have to evolve and experiment, which I'm sure many of you are doing in your own way. And I think as this gathers steam, I think teaching itself will be a very different field altogether in the future. I also like to, in every award function, I repeat this statement, and this award function is no exception. I want to repeat this statement, that great teaching is not a lost art, but respect for great teachers is under threat of becoming a lost tradition. It's a very complex statement, so I'm going to repeat this again. Great teaching is not a lost art, but the respect for great teachers is under threat of becoming a lost tradition. And one of the reasons why we instituted this award is to ensure that this tradition is not lost. And awards such as this one, Professor SSR Memorial Teaching Excellence Award, is a step in the direction to ensure that that tradition is not lost on us. I would take a minute to thank the esteemed jury members for their diligence, effort, and selecting the awardee. And to do this every year on year, on time, is not an easy task. And specifically to Professor Arya Kumar and his team for ensuring this is done on time and with the diligence and announced on Teachers' Day. I would like to end by once again congratulating Professor Anupama for this prestigious recognition and wish her the very best in the years to come. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Now, Professor Arya Kumar, the Dean of Alumni Relations of BITS Pilani, will take over and address the audience.
Esteemed faculty members from the BITS Pilani different campuses, esteemed family members from the Professor SSR Ranganathan's family, alumni from the 7883 batch, and all other alumni across the institute. It's a very special day for all of us to have assembled over here for conferring the Best Teachers Award instituted by the batch of 7883 and all other alumni in memory of a great teacher, Professor S.S. Ranganathan. It so happens Professor Ranganathan's stint at BITS Pilani and my first stint at BITS Pilani started almost together. He joined in the January 78 and I joined in April 78. I cannot forget his simplicity, his love for the teaching, and his connect with the students. He has been a great lover for teaching profession, and he always got connected very strongly with the students in general. And it's that quality which we always remember in some of the teachers we come across in our life. As has been rightly said, the teachers are the instrument for transforming the society. And for some of us, this passion and the love really help us in terms of transferring knowledge generation after generations, which gets touched to the hearts of our students. I really admire and appreciate the batch of 7883 and alumni for instituting this award. And it so happened that the setting of the Alumni Relations Dean's Office and setting of this award again coincided in the year 2017. And from this happens to be the fourth award, which we have been conferring year after year. It has been always a great challenge to pick up the best teachers. And many times the jury gets stuck up by why can't we give it to two rather than one? This time too, it so happened, we had received 15 effective nominations. And as per the practice of the past years, we had picked up the past 5 top nominations. And the selection process was among these 20. It's always very easy to come out to the first list of 5 top nominees. But the real challenge for the jury, which was chaired by Professor G. Sundar this time, along with Professor E.P. Singh, Professor Srinivas Krishnaswamy, Professor Sudip Mohan, Mr. S.S. Sishai, and we could have a gracious presence of Mr. N.S. Parasarthi in the 3 out of the 4 meetings. I mean, he has been gracious enough in terms of taking our time to be part of this particular jury in terms of his guidance, which is admirable. It's admirable. Now, as I was sharing, the real task for the jury became to pick up out of the best two. And it so happened in the third meeting, we said that we'll take a final call in the fourth meeting. And somehow all jury members coincided with the one name with the consensus. And we did collected a lot of information on the 4 major parameters which have been set up for picking the best teachers, which is a challenging task. At the same time, I'm sure all of you would agree that the teaching is one of the most greatest assets on which Pilani has built up over years. And teachers have to be extraordinarily innovative to keep the attention of the students in a class and get connected with the students. And as usual, everybody makes an attempt, but some of us get remembered the most by our students because of the extra efforts which we put in. And that happens with some of the rarest and rare as far as the teaching as a field is concerned. I cannot forget some of my teachers who had taught me at the school. Same has been with my experience at the BITS Pilani. So it's something distinct as a spark or as an innovative capability of teacher, as a passion in him, which distinguishes him from the others. Same must have been the true for the winners of this award for the last 4 years. And that quality is in a many more, but then we get stuck up by picking up a one out of many. So this year award with the consensus has gone in favor of Professor K.R. Anupama. And to say a few words about Professor K.R. Anupama, she has been teaching at BITS Pilani from the May 1999. For her, teaching her always been the only and sought after career. It has been the first time for a women to get this award amongst BITS. And as usual, always play in terms of teacher-student game and try to develop a love for teaching in the profession. She has been the part of the team, the faculty that have developed the ME Embedded System program for both on campus and WLP. She has designed multiple courses in the embedded systems domain with a lot of stress on experiential learning. She has been updating the course contents continuously to introduce new architectures and new tools that are industry relevant. Her high degree courses with a strong research component. She has been the first faculty to offer a course in flip mode format. She has run courses in the MOOC, which were later moved to the edX and the TCS Ion platform and offered to all BITS campuses. For her MOOC courses, she has created multiple videos, animations to help demonstrate various concepts. The course was made learner-centric, tutorials and discussions were made completely student-centric. Active online participation on a discussion forums and chats were encouraged to ensure that there is no digital divide. She was also a part of the team that carried out the curriculum redesign exercise that was completed in the year 2012. She's also set up several labs at the Goa campus, such as embedded systems, network embedded lab, microelectronics lab, and reconfigurable computing lab. She has developed digital content for several WLP MTech embedded courses. She would appreciate that she has been always continuously in terms of developing courses, developing new pedagogy to get connected with the students. And I'm sure all these as an inputs biofactual information from multiple sources has enabled the jury to pick up one out of the few top one. I would like to congratulate on behalf of one and all alumni and the faculty members for getting recognized as the best teacher for the SSR Teaching Excellence Award instituted by the alumni with Pilani. I would request virtually to hand over this award by Professor Savik Bhattacharya, Professor Raghurama, and Mr. N.S. Parsate to confer it upon her. Thank you so much. Thanks a lot.
Now we can have the certificate listed on the screen.
There you go. So how do you do it? Yeah. It's, hand it over. Professor Anupama, please grab it.
Congratulations to Anupama ma'am. On this occasion, I would like to call upon Anupama ma'am to give her award acceptance speech, which will be followed by a lecture delivered by her.
Dr. Anupama, we can't hear you. She is able to hear you, Soumya.
Is Professor Anupama in the TP room or at the office? Or
I think she's in the TP room.
Vicky was in the TP room, I think.
Vicky was there.
Yes, sir. I'll just get.
Yeah.
Where is she? Let me try calling her.
Anupma, can you? We are all waiting for you, the Vice Chancellor. So there is some technical glitch. She's fixing it right now. She'll get back to us, sir. Oh, she's there.
She's there now. Yeah.
She's there. Yeah.
You are not audible, Anupama.
Try removing the headphones completely and simple system. Like this, sir.
Hello.
Yes, ma'am, you're
We can hear you now.
You're able to hear me now, right?
Yes.
Oh, thank you. I guess it took some time for my microphone to be unmuted. Sorry about that. Respected Vice Chancellor, Director, members of the Alumni Association, members of the family of SS Ranganathan. I would like to first of all thank everyone for the kind words, and I would like to thank you for this award. I would like to thank the VC and the director for their kind words and their constant support. I humbly accept the Professor S.S. Ranganathan Memorial Award for Teaching Excellence. I am honored to receive this award, which is in the memory of an illustrious teacher. Unfortunately, I never had the honor of meeting him. I joined a couple of years later after he had left BITS, but I have interacted with many of his students. I have heard stories about his classes. It's something of a legend when you hear about someone like him and you want to be like a person like him who's universally admired. And the admiration I've seen for him from his students who later were my classmates, my flatmates, or taught along with me has been phenomenal. And hence, this is a huge honor for me to be even considered for an award which has a name associated with him. I would like to thank the alumni who sponsored this award, the selection committee who found me deserving of this award. I'm extremely grateful to them, and especially to the people who have nominated me for this award. For me, it was a pleasant surprise to get an award for doing something what I consider to be my job. That's what I'm here for. I'm here to teach, and to be recognized and awarded for that. That is a very big honor, and I want to thank everyone for that. While I may be the person accepting this award, there are many dedicated faculty, my colleagues, staff, administrators, who deserve our recognition and appreciation. They put in countless hours of work in order to support the student. On behalf of them, again, I accept this recognition, and I'm happy to be a part of this award or to have this award. Since this is a Teaching Excellence Award, I would like to start with thanking my students. My first degree students, though I teach a very few courses for them, probably now just one course in the entire academic year. I thank them. They keep me on my toes, always keep me updated technically as well as in getting up with the new teaching methodologies. My master's students, especially my ME embedded students, who consider themselves my adopted kids, they keep calling themselves my adopted kids, make me feel a bit old, but then they have to suffer through 4 to 5 classes of me in 1.5 years. So they're the closest thing I have to family here in BITS. And they give me a challenge every time, and I'm proud of every one of my MA embedded students. They provide me the challenge. They, in fact, inspire me to come every day to deliver the class. So I am extremely grateful to my master's students, my off-campus students, who I have never met physically, but I've taught a lot of courses for them, met them virtually, and through the feedback, I've got a unique perception of what is expected from a teacher. And thanks to them, I have always been kept updated with various online teaching methodologies, which found it, and considering the current situation, it was very easy for me to migrate from my normal method of teaching to online teaching methodology. So I'm very grateful to all of my students, my PhD students who have given me deadlines rather than vice versa. And I have had the most amazing students, which has made, which have helped me pursue my passion. Teaching has been my passion. And when you get to do, or when you get paid for your passion, there is no excuse for you to do a bad job. And probably that's one of the reasons why I work very hard in order to keep my students happy, whoever they are. I'm very grateful to all of them. I'm grateful to my colleagues, my seniors. I have a lot of mentors. The moment I joined BITS, Professor K.V. Raman, Professor Guru Narayanan, Professor Sudeep Mohan, Professor J.P. Mishra, I have attended their classes, and I've always been in awe of the classes. I have learned a lot from them, and maybe thanks to them, right now I'm able to pass on a little bit of the knowledge I've gained from them to my students. Vicky, would I have the possibility to share slides because as part of the lecture?
Yes, ma'am, we can give the sharing.
Okay, I think I do have the share option enabled.
Yes, ma'am, it's visible.
So Essentially, what I was asked by Vicky to give some tips regarding teaching. Uh, I don't consider myself such a great teacher to provide tips, but let me share my perspective and experience. And as I said, teaching has been something which I always wanted to do. And probably like anybody else, when I first took up teaching, I thought probably it was going to be very easy. Read up everything which is there under the sun, read every book that is there, summarize, go and talk, the students are going to listen. That's not the way it actually works out. Teaching is extremely difficult, uh, primarily because you have to find out whether the student has digested whatever have I talked about. When you go to a class, it's you look at a student, and when you see a spark in his eye, and you find out that he has understood what you have talked about, that is the greatest achievement that any teacher can have. Unfortunately, I have been not having this for the past few months because of the pandemic. But every time I go to a class and I even see one student going through this aha moment of, okay, I've understood what she has taught, I have found that to be my greatest achievement. And as the number of students who understood what I have taught increased, I felt I'm really doing a great job. And that's what keeps taking me to the next class. Um, a classroom atmosphere varies a lot because I have large number of students. There have been cases where I have taught classrooms where there are 10 students, 5 students in some cases. I've even taught classes where I have 450 to 600 students. All of these students are from diverse academic backgrounds, and there is no one rule which fits all of them. And each student has a different set of learning skill. So this is what I had to understand, and I understood as I started teaching in BITS. The blessing of teaching in BITS is that you are allowed to experiment with the course content. You are allowed to experiment with the methodology which you have used. I have been very lucky that I have been able to experiment with new teaching pedagogy, whether it has been online teaching, whether it has been in terms of MOOC. So that was one thing which has been a boon for me, which has allowed me to excel in terms of teaching. And like any other teacher, what I face is the low curiosity level of the student. Why do I have to learn this? I have done that when I have been a student. I have not found all subjects very interesting. There are certain subjects which on day one I find great passion for, and there are certain courses which I'm still extremely scared for. For instance, if anyone as much as mentions electrical machines, for which Professor S.S. Ranganathan was known to be a great teacher. They even mention electrical machines. I'm really scared of it. So there are certain courses which I have always wondered, why do I have to learn this? My curiosity levels have been very low for certain courses, and that's natural for any student to find certain courses less interesting, some more interesting. So primarily, I try to increase the curiosity level of the students. One of the greatest moments in teaching is the misconceptions that many of us have. At the end of the class, I say, wow, that I have done a great lecture. And my students are like, did I understand what she taught? What did she teach? So that's something which all of us face at some point. I feel I've delivered a great lecture because I have taught great things in that particular class. Sustaining the curiosity of the student, being able to understand whether the student has got whatever I have been talking about, has become the driving force behind every day of my teaching. Every day I work very hard to ensure that I deliver a great class. And I also ensure that my students understand at least a little bit of what I'm trying to tell them. As far as my method goes, I simulate the curiosity of the student. I try to tell them what is the impact of the course that I am teaching. I spend a lot of time reading about everything that is related to the subject that I'm going to teach. It doesn't matter if I teach this subject for the first time or I'm teaching it for the 100th time. I remember Professor Natarajan during one of the interactions said that I've been teaching generations microprocessors. Uh, so I have really taught generations microprocessors. I have taught the course for probably 21 years. And every time I've taught this course, it has been a new experience for me. And believe me, every time I teach the course, I recreate the slides for the course. I prepare for every class of the course again. I recreate the slides every time. And the reason is every time I have a different audience. A different audience wants me to narrate the same story in a different way. So it becomes very important for me to be well prepared, to prepare my own slides, add animations to them. Some students find animations irritating. Some students find animations interesting. So with every class, I have recreated my slide to narrate my story, the same story which I have been teaching for 20 years in a different way. And probably that's one of the reasons that students do appreciate, even though, as Professor Ragurama has said, I'm a very tough teacher. I'm a very unforgiving teacher to a large extent. I'm very tough about my deadlines. I'm very tough about my grading, my evaluation, everything. But then they do, at the end of the day, they do appreciate because they get something from my class, and I am genuinely interested in what I teach. I sustain the motivation for every course through experiential learning. For me, it's very important that the student tries out whatever I have taught in class. Teaching for me has never been limited in the classroom. I insist that students work in the lab and they spend more hours in the lab as they do listening to my lectures, whether it is on video or whether it is going to be live lectures. I always insist that they work in the lab, and I spend a lot of time with them in the lab. Uh, to a lot of students, I keep saying that even when your experiment fails, you learn something. You know what you have done wrong. You know what is the limitations of the knowledge that you have learned. Mistakes are what are going to teach you to get the right output at some point in time. So for me, experiential learning components, all of my courses have projects. All of my courses have expect students to read research papers. All of my courses expect students to to be given a new problem, to try to find a solution for the problem. I post a lot of open-ended problems. I get them started on opposite ends of the problem. Try to keep the interest going. So I never give myself a break, and neither do I give my students a break. So probably they can consider me to be a very tough teacher in that manner. I prepare for my classes well in advance. I spend a lot of time preparing for a class. If I'm going to take an hour of class, I spend 3 to 4 hours preparing for that class much in advance. And then again, right before the class, I again spend time trying to revise whatever I have prepared. I always make use of real-time examples. Unfortunately, I have been given courses where there can be a lot of real-time examples. I've always taught courses which are related to system design. So I could design systems, I could simulate them, I could show it, and I was able to generate curiosity. In that way, I have been very lucky in terms of the courses that I have been given. I constantly post questions at vital points in the class. I expect my students to participate as much in the class as I do. And primarily, as I said, for me, a student has to put in work or put in time in the lab. Several of my students work late in the lab, late into the nights in the lab, and I really enjoy working with them. Sometimes when I do go to the lab late in the night and I find my students working there, for me it's a great pleasure to see that the students are working on something that I have given them, and I enjoy sitting with them and working as well. And many of my students would complain about, what a tough evaluator I am. uh, I always close my courses with very tough or very challenging evaluation components. It's not to show them what they don't know, but rather it is to indicate that there is more that they can learn from this particular course. I have always considered evaluation components also as a methodology of learning. You learn the limitations of your knowledge. You try to understand what you have to learn more. In fact, I keep telling my students, whenever I prepare a paper for you, I spend 3-4 days. I read every research paper in a particular area in which I want to post a question. I find a solution, and then from the solution, I work back, find a question for you. So if I spend 5 days for you setting a question paper, I expect you to at least spend 2 days to study and try to answer it. So I expect my students to learn more even after they leave the course. There's a lot of things they can still learn. What I have given any student as part of a course is a starting point. And I hope and I always wish that every one of my students would take their interest in the course further and succeed. I've seen several of them succeed. I am very proud of all the success stories which I get to hear from my students much later. And that's one of the things that keep me motivated a lot. To summarize, this is a cartoon which one of my students had shared on me, I think the previous Teachers' Day. This Teachers' Day, unfortunately, I could not meet my students, which kind of summarizes, they say, my teaching methodology. Whether they want or not, chase them, I open their heads, stuff the knowledge in it so that they learn something at the end of my course. And as my students say, I never give up on them. And I keep trying every day to ensure that my students learn more, and I'm proud of each and every one of them. As I said, this kind of summarizes my entire teaching methodology, and I'm so glad to see that my students have captured it so nicely. Though the person in the cartoon no way resembles me. What I would always tell my students and also my colleagues is, whatever you do, work with all your heart. And for me, this has been my passion, and hence I have followed my heart and it has worked for me. And always build a happy and an interactive learning environment is what I generally aim for. I guess that's it. Thank you. And once again, thank you for honoring me with this award. Thank you.
Thank you, Anupama ma'am. Now that we have all enlightened ourselves with some valuable tips from Anupama ma'am and her very insightful perspectives about teaching, we shall move on to hear from a family member and students of late Professor S.S. Ranganathan about this dedicated and passionate professor of ours. Now, a family member of late Professor S.S. Ranganathan will address this virtual
Good morning, teachers and students. I hope I'm audible to you. Am I audible? Yes. Thank you. I am Pungurali. I am talking on behalf of the entire family. I'm really honored to be here, and I really got goosebumps, listening to Anupama madam, because it was like seeing my father once again, the kind of passion which he showed, and the slides which he showed, it was as if I was going on a trip with my dad once again. I'm really overwhelmed today that, I got to listen to her. It was, I got a piece of my father back again. Each one of us, when anyone you ask who are the 5 people who have influenced them most in their life, there is always a teacher among them. Could be a school teacher, could be a college teacher, and I feel that I am blessed and honored to be the daughter of one such teacher. for whom, the classroom was his entire life. His heart and soul went into his classrooms and his students. And I'm also happy that I also could be in teaching for quite some time. I would like to once again congratulate Anupama ma'am. I would also like to thank all the old students of APA who have, honored him and honored us also in turn by instituting this award, so that the legacy continues. And the respect that you show to your teacher, I don't think there could be a better way than this. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Now we shall have a few students of Professor S.S. Ranganathan to share their views. A qualitative market researcher with 3 decades of experience in handling consumer, industrial, and social research for many leading multinational and Indian companies, an MMS graduate from BITS Pilani, and also an author and actor, we invite Mr. Bhaskar Asayar to address the audience now.
To all the distinguished people from the BITS administration and faculty who are gathered at this meeting, to all the students and alumni who have joined this gathering online, to the family members of SSR, Mrs. Malathi Ranganathan, daughters Pungurali and Sai Kodai, son-in-law Prakash, grandchildren Prashant Sharada, who may have joined this meet from their Trichy home, to Seshasai and Partha, my alumni friends who have championed the establishment of this S.S. Ranganathan Memorial Award, to all my BITS alumni friends, young and old, who will be keenly watching these proceedings from wherever they are, and most importantly, to Professor K.R. Anupama, the winner of this year's Professor SSR Memorial Teaching Excellence Award, this coveted award, and the others who are awaiting their turn in the years to come. A very good morning to all of you. Seshasai, my batchmate from Chennai, asked me to address this August gathering today. He said, and I quickly, readily agreed without thinking much. But now I wonder what I have done. I'm 61 years old now, and when I look back on my years in BITS, Pilani, as a student of MMS, 75-80 batch, I'm suddenly reminded of this dreaded thing, my CGPA, which shall remain a secret for now. I think of all the classes I bunked. I wonder whether I'm suitable to talk here and what I would talk. But then I also suddenly realized that this event, this celebration, this remembrance is not about me. It's about SSR, S.S. Ranganathan sir. And so I am here required to talk only about him. Thank God for that. I have a lot of precious memories about him, and I am glad I got this great and unique opportunity to share some of them with great minds like you. When I completed my first year and moved to my second year, I think that was the time. And that was the time SSR joined BITS Pilani. He had moved from Coimbatore Institute of Technology, Coimbatore, where he had worked for more than 10 years, and then he made this switch to BITS Pilani. I want to tell you right away that he was a power systems man in the electrical engineering department. Whereas I was in my second year, I think, in MMS, which is management. So I had nothing to do with electrical engineering, power systems, or anything even remotely connected to SSR by way of classes or courses. But then, as I recollect, this strange, lean, not so impressive looking man, SSR, who had come and joined BITS Pilani from Coimbatore, soon caught the attention of the students on the campus. I was a keen campus watcher. In fact, that's what I was doing most of the time. And I noticed now that this person who joined yesterday was growing in popularity among all types of students day by day. And I was watching this with amazing thing that's happening in front of my eyes. Then I noticed one more thing. Normally, it takes time for any newcomer faculty to become first acceptable with students. Then he becomes popular. But he was a different phenomenon altogether. Within just a few weeks or months of joining, all the students were flocking. They were gathering around him in all kinds of places besides the classroom alone. Everywhere on the campus, he would be there. Wherever you find a bunch of students, he'll be hidden among them. And I was always looking for what will be attractive about this man that so many students are flocking around him. And then I would always look closer and find, how come this guy is getting so much admiration from the students? And then soon I found he was invited to be a judge for many of the competitions conducted by various student clubs. He had become quickly so popular. So whether it was debates or dramatics, usually students pick those teachers who are faculty members who are also popular and competent. And he was there. And all this got me really interested in him. The next thing that happened was a debate organized by the English Debating Society. The topic of the debate was, which is the best? Which is the best? That was the topic. I immediately gave my name. I was a student who hated the academic system, the unassigned admission and progressive branching system that we had at that time in BITS Pilani, because of which many students suffered. And I was an active students union member and was a known troublemaker. So I prepared hard and was waiting for my opportunity to talk against the motion. So when I went on stage that day, I said many things that were certainly not parliamentarian. And some of the things I said against the BITS Institute and the administration, and they were in the most impolite language that you could think of. There was deathly silence after my talk, and the debate ended on a very ominous note. One by one, the three judges, they ascended the stage. The three of them were different faculty members, two of them from engineering and one from the management department. They came on stage to review what had happened. The first two judges criticized me strongly and condemned me unequivocally. And then the third one to come up on stage was SS Ranganathan himself. And since he was a newcomer on the campus, all the students were eager to know what this guy is going to say, what this new faculty member is going to say. He spoke about the debate. He spoke about the pluses and the minuses of each of the speakers. And then when he came to my talk, he said very surprisingly, that speaker Bhaskar, he spoke very well, but he should be careful about the choice of his words. So he ended on that note, and he said something that day that I had remembered all my life. He said, and for those who have not heard him when he was around, I'll put it in his own words and his own sound. He said, even if you want to call someone a fool, don't say you are a fool. Say it would be better had you been wiser. When he said this, the whole room cheered, and there were thunderous claps in that hall. The people assembled there took an instant liking for him, and I was also one of them. What started that day in that room where the debate happened has developed later into a lifelong beautiful relationship between SS Ranganathan sir and me. After the debate, he invited me home, and I got introduced to his wife and his little daughter Pungurali. She was only a few years old then, the one who spoke some time back. And after that, I used to visit his home. Almost every other day I was there, and we used to keep chatting about everything under the sun, and with a constant supply of chais and mango shakes coming from the kitchen supplied by Malati madam. I was there almost every other day. Okay, Now, I have told you this long story of how I became an indispensable, inseparable part of his family. Believe it or not, what started then, when I was just 17 years or so, continues to this day. I am 61. It's unbelievable, but all made possible because of this phenomenon called SSR. We were not connected earlier before meeting in the campus. We met in Pilani as total strangers, but I am a part of his family even now at age 61 after his passing away as well. In fact, his whole family is still confused. Who is this guy? What's he doing in our family still? So I have become, so much a part of his family because of the magnetism that SSR wielded. Now, what did I observe about SSR from close quarters? Remember, I had this opportunity to view him from such close quarters all these days, and as a teacher and a human being. What did I observe? It's now very, very fashionable for people these days to say that the most important thing in life is to be a good human being. Everybody talks about it. Not money, status, fame, power, being a good human being. And that beats everything else hands down. Now, SSR was truly that kind of person, a great human being. How, you might wonder. First thing is, he made time for everybody. He really made time, making absolutely no distinction between the young and the old, between the boy or the girl, between the high or the low, between the high CGPA guy and the low CGPA guy, between the South Indian or the North Indian. Nothing mattered to him. He was one of those rare people who loved everybody equally, and this is the truth. Secondly, his home was always open to everyone. It is, the door was literally open. I observed this in Pilani. First, I thought he was close to me because I was a Tamilian. But then I found, every time I visited his house, I found all kinds of people. I found Sardarjis. I found Rajasthanis. Then I'll see a Bengali. Whole lot of them. There is no distinction. And not only students, it will be teachers as well. They would always stray in and out of his home every time I entered his place. Thirdly, he was a great talker, but an even greater listener. I used to talk a lot of rubbish then as a student. Even now I do. But he will not only listen to it, he will actually enjoy it and continue the conversation as if I were equal in age to him. That was his magnanimity. Fourth, he was always willing to help and counsel anybody who needed his help. They just needed to ask. And fifth, he constantly kept encouraging people to become their best. This he did quite naturally with no expectations of any return whatsoever. I have not seen another person like him. Now I can go on and on, but I must mind the time allotted to me. I think all of you who have met SSR in flesh and blood will really agree with me about this description of his greatness. Those who are hearing about him only now are truly blessed because he will be guiding all of us to be a better human being from wherever he is. And wherever he is, that's likely to be a better place because SSR is there. Now, thank you, organizers. I'm drawing to an end, thankfully. Thank you, organizers. Thank you, BITS, for giving me this great opportunity to walk down the memory lane. It's like walking from my hostel to SSR's home as a young man in his quarters in BITS Pilani, a nice, pleasant, breezy evening. That's the feeling I get. May I take this opportunity to congratulate the most important thing, why we are gathered here, to congratulate Professor K.R. Anupama, the recipient of this year's Professor Ranganathan Memorial Teaching Excellence Award. Wish her and her family all the very best. Thank you. Thank you, Bitshians. Thank you all. Long live SSR and his glory. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for that very nostalgic speech of yours. Next up, we have Mr. Krishna K. Chakrabarti, a triple graduate from BITS Pilani, who is a subject matter consultant at Government of India through PricewaterhouseCoopers Private Limited. He is also a faculty of e-governance, GPR for different state government officials, and an expert in quality documentation and project management for government treasuries. I kindly request him to address the audience.
Hello, can you all hear me, please?
Yes, sir, you're audible.
Okay. Respected Vice Chancellor, sir, Professor Sauvik Bhattacharya, respected Director, Goa Campus, Professor Raghuram, Professor Arya, Professor Anupama, all other professors and deans who are attending this August ceremony, my seniors, Mr. Bhaskar, Mr. Parthasarthi, Mr. Srisashai, all others, seniors, peers, and juniors of BITS Pilani. This is Malati Ranganathan, whom I address as Auntie. Mrs. Emma Thongurali, like my sister. Miss Kodai, she's around. Mr. Prashant, who's the husband of Thongurali. Sharda and Prashant, who are the son and daughter and son of Thongurali. At the outset, I'd like to congratulate Professor Anupama for being awarded this prestigious award in memory of Professor S.S. Ranganathan. I heard you, ma'am. I heard you speak and agree with Thongurali that you take us back to the days of Professor Ranganathan, the way you spoke, the way you prepare for the classes, the passion you have for teaching, the same passion our Professor Ranganathan also used to exude when he was with us, when he was in the class, and when he was also discussing with us different topics of interest. I express my gratitude for having been given this opportunity to speak at this August forum about my experiences with Professor Ranganathan. A little bit about myself regarding teaching. I was also a teaching assistant at BITS Pilani, so I am an ex-colleague of many of you may or may not know. And that was hardly for a period of 9 months or so, but that helped me to a great extent in my career, because I lost my stage fear and I could speak about anything, anytime, after having spent 9 months as a teaching assistant. And usually a teaching assistant doesn't get chances to take classes, but I got chances to take classes. I took classes for Comtech, taught for Pascal and Fortran, and I also took the energy conversion class. Okay. And later on, as it was mentioned, I have been also faculty of the National Institute of Smart Government, and I have been teaching e-governance. And by the way, I also taught a few engineering students conversational English, and that was a great experience sometime in 2014 in Gurgaon. Anyway, let's come back to Professor SSR. Professor SSR, as we fondly used to call him, was my friend, philosopher, and guide, a fatherly figure for me. We got introduced during my tenure at BITS Pilani during the years 1981 to 85. I was a 50 student, and we got introduced through a common platform, and that was I was a devotee, I am still a devotee of Satya Sai Baba, and so was he. So somehow we got introduced during bhajan sessions at different faculty members' places, and I happened to visit his house very often after that. I had the unique opportunity of attending 3 of his courses. The first one was energy conversion, the second one power systems 1 and power systems 2. Professor Ranganathan was an excellent teacher. He used to give practical examples while teaching. He used to cut jokes while teaching, so that we were very much friendly with him and we could absorb the principles, the fundamentals which he was teaching very nicely. And he used to know all of us by name almost, maybe barring 1 or 2. He taught this subject so well that I could really relate to them very well. And Mr. Bhaskar, as he said, I was also having the CGPA problem, and so I will also not be mentioning that now. Mr. Bhaskar has already told so many things about Professor Ranganathan. I'll tell you about my personal experience. Although I was comfortable with PS1, PS2, that is Power Systems 1, Power Systems 2, Energy Conversion, these courses, I was not so comfortable with EMEC 1, EMEC 2, and EMFW 1 and analog electronics. EMEC 1 and EMEC 2, many of you may be knowing the machines part, electromechanical energy conversion 1 and 2. There were labs also concerning these courses, and analog electronics was also something which I somehow could digest. I was in a real confusion about what would be my future career. So, in my beginning of my third year, I sought advice from Professor Ranganathan. I asked him, "Sir, what should I pursue as a career? Because neither I am so comfortable with electrical, not so much with analog electronics. Digital electronics is yet to come." He said that, "Well, KK, you are a simple person. I don't expect you to work on the top floor with laborers, and hence electrical is ruled out for you. Regarding electronics, you are not comfortable with analog. So why don't you try Comtech? What grade did you make in Comtech?" So I told him that, well, that grade was also nothing to talk about. He said, "Well, do something. You repeat the course of Comtech, try to understand programming in a better manner, and that is the future for you. If you can click there, there is nothing stopping you." Well, I took his advice. I repeated the course, Comtech, scored a better grade, and what was most important, I could understand programming thoroughly that time. Especially, I fell in love with Pascal. So I came and told him that's what the result was. He was so happy. He said, "Okay, why don't you take electives from the computer science courses?" So I took electives as microprocessors, which I really scored well and understood well. Professor Mathur taught us, and I was really, really very much impressed by his teaching. Then also I took up the courses of computers and programming and COBOL, and eventually I could set up on a career of software and project management, which helped me throughout my career. So I am eternally grateful to Professor Ranganathan for this advice which he had given me. And we used to spend a lot of time together. Since I was also an ex-student of Sat Sai Baba's College at Whitefield, so I had a lot of things to tell about him. And Professor Ranganathan was highly interested to hear them, and we used to have a lot of discussion regarding these things and also other topics. We used to sing bhajans together, we used to attend bhajans together, we used to discuss a lot about these things. Not only that, Malti auntie used to prepare so many good meals and good dishes for me. I am a vegetarian, although I am a Bengali, so I used to enjoy those dishes to the hilt. And let me tell you, I was really surprised that Professor Ranganathan had a cassette of Bengali songs, which I heard for the first time in my life because I was brought up in Varanasi in my childhood. So I didn't have the opportunity of listening to many Bengali songs, which especially the film songs. I had heard a lot of Rabindra Sangeet, as you know about it, but film songs I had not heard much of. But he had those film songs on a cassette, and I really enjoyed them. I equally enjoyed Tamil songs of Valliyamayam and others, and we used to have sessions together. During all the years I spent at Big Pilani, whenever I was sick, he used to take care of me. I used to go and spend time in the quarters of Professor Ranganathan. And Uday and Pungurali were like my sisters. They are still now. I have a lot of the love and respect for Malti auntie and of course for the departed soul of Professor Ranganathan. I visited Trichy after the passing away of our teacher and mentor, Professor Ranganathan, met the family members. And Pongoli and family have also visited my humble house at Chandan Nagar, which is near Kolkata. In fact, they had come for the Durga Puja last year. We had a nice time together. To Malti auntie, Pongoli, Uday, Prashant, Prakash, and Sharda, all of them are like my extended family, and I am highly indebted to them. I think I would like to conclude here, and I thank you for your patient hearing, and I would like to express my deep, deep gratitude towards Professor Ranganathan and his family. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Now that we have come to the end of this felicitation ceremony, I, on behalf of the BITS Pilani KK Birla Goa campus and the entire fraternity of the institution, first of all, extend our most sincere thanks to all the dignitaries for gracing this felicitation ceremony. Firstly, I would like to thank our Vice Chancellor who spared time from his busy schedule to grace and support this occasion. The deepest sense of appreciation to our directors for supporting us in all the efforts that we put in. Thank you to our Dean and Associate Deans of Alumni Relations for their enormous cooperation in organizing this event. We have been fortunate enough to be backed by a team of very motivated and dedicated alumni. Mr. N.S. Parthasarthi, Mr. Sesashai, Mr. Bhaskar Iyer, and Mr. Krishna Chakrabarti, to name a few. Thank you. A deep sense of gratitude to Professor K.R. Anupama, who gave us an enlightening speech today. Congratulations once again, ma'am. Family members of Professor S.S. Ranganathan, thank you very much for sparing some time on this important day. We are truly humbled. Finally, thank you to all the faculty and students who attended this event, and we hope you all had an enlightening experience. Good day. Thank you all once again.